Hey everyone, we're back to another exciting episode of Tech Production Tie, bankrupt once again by Jake and Nick.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
And today's matchup is me taking on Tracy. Tracy couldn't join us today in the conversation, but it is AoD taking on Set 2021. Nick does have experience with this particular deck, and both these guys here have experience playing against me. So what's buttons, links, check them out. Let's get into the matchup. Go on.
I was going to say 21 is in an interesting spot against AoD. There's a few of your green and blue cards it can use to really kind of ramp itself and get going, once it's on the back.
Yeah, a lot of the good cards for AoD are blue and green.
Yeah,
and
especially your poverty.
Yeah, which benefits 21 heavily. Going first is a huge advantage though against 21. Primarily because 21's turn 2 is that they played the Z battle card, which is a 2 cost. It does not have deflect. So obviously if I go first, I will save an energy just so I can counterplay it. And then it kind of slows the 21 player down, so then I can kind of go at the speed I want to. This is a very long game.
So yeah, I could imagine. 21 wants to play as passively as possible, and yeah, especially with the amount of floodgates that it runs. Gross.
And Tracy did forget to give me his battle card on turn 1.
Did he want to?
Yeah, so he plays Pan primarily just to get the early draw, but then use Activate Main to give it to his opponent, so that way it's another energy for him, because it's his Android 21 cards and his opponent's cards. So if he would have given me the Pan, it's just another energy for him.
Yeah, but paying this early is not the best, I guess, because you could just combo it away.
I was going to say, actually, I don't think he forgot, now that I recall, because he didn't have a way of negating the attack, so I would have comboed it off right away.
Yeah, so Pan's mostly best used when you're playing it on your turn, just to extend and keep going, and even better, like swinging with it, just to put it in rest mode so your opponent can't use it. But it's definitely something you want to use. You have to be pretty strategic when you're using the Pan. But even in this matchup, it doesn't really matter because you're going to play blue cards.
Yeah. So he has the standard turn 2, I feel like, where he gets down to enough life where he can potentially play the Z battle card and then have to awaken afterwards to reset energy. He does need to get a swinging because he does not have any form of combo power right now. Or sorry, he has no cards in his Z energy. Yeah. And I will say, outside of like hoping to go first in this matchup, as we played this match, and I'll kind of go more in detail as it goes on, it's almost like I have to learn how to play against this deck, because playing against other decks, it's like, oh, I'll just swing. But playing against 21 is one of those decks where I'll swing and he could be like, yeah, cool. Because you swung with that one card, I want you to tap that, and that. And I'm like, oh, well, there goes my swing.
Yeah. Really punishes you for swinging with the leader first. If you swing with a battle card first, they have cards that can just pop it during the battle step. So 21 has a lot of really good options. They have this guy, the In the Name of Hunger, that he just tried to Z-stack there. It looks like he got a really clutch counterplay in here, though.
Yeah, and this for 2, because I also had to slow him down because you don't get the Z-stack right away. It's part of the on-play effect.
Yeah, it's an on-play auto.
So I put his card back for him. But it's one of those things where now he has no Z energy, so he has to get another swing in order to play another card, and he will end up swinging with the Pan just so he can combo something off.
Yeah, but hitting the Z battle card is the move against 21, just because that's potentially 2 extra energy for them to play with. So that's you do that all day and really mess up their play lines.
Now, I will say, when he passes his turn, he was a bit confused on the leader's skill combined with the auto. So the leader skill is that you can play enter 21 cards by using your opponent's cards as energy or using your 21 cards as energy. But the auto on this particular Z battle card isn't actually playing a card. You're paying for the auto itself, and you need the blue energy. If I recall correctly, this particular Z battle card is one Pacific blue, right?
One specified blue? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
He could have that. I was explaining that he could have tapped one of his energy and then my Android 13 to have played this card, and then he would have had the energy available to do this. But because he thought he could turn around and use my cards for the auto, it's just a learning process. Like, he just thought that counted overall for playing 21 card in the moment.
Yeah, and that's a really tricky move. Being able to have your first copy counterplayed and then go right back into it by using your Bobbity and your Bardock Turles? Which one is it? Turles?
Turles. Yeah.
Yeah, using your Turles there. So, pretty slick move on Tracy's part. It just, like you said, just the micro of it was just a little bit out of line, and it ended up costing him.
Yeah, but being able to floodgate for free essentially right now is really nice.
And he pops the Turles because he just doesn't want to take the damage from the attack. Hitting the Bobby would probably be a better move, but then he's forced to have to combo or deal with the on-swing attack. And going into this matchup, I knew Bobby's not going to stay often, so I always had another Bobby in my hand, or I had multiple copies of the Hatch, because you see I did charge a Bobby on turn 3, I think it was. So I have protection to bring it back constantly.
But now that it's in rest mode, he can just start swinging at it, right? And you're probably not going to combo to save it. So I think it's fine to KO a threat here and then really force you to make decisions on how you're going to play around this floodgate.
Yeah. So the leader's not affected by the floodgate. So I was able to get the swing off. And I comboed the Broly to put into my Z energy. So now I can turn around and pay 1 energy to play my Majin Buu from my Z deck and then use Majin Buu's effect. Oh, no, I just pop it with another Broly. Never mind.
Yeah. It's free play.
Yeah. The problem with this play is that, and I didn't pick up on it yet. On my first swing, I should have swung, and it's just, I just wasn't thinking about it. You know, with AoD, I tried to swing with the Turtles as soon as possible because I wanted to get the draw power to my hand. I should have swung with Android 13 first, because then he wouldn't have had a successful way of floodgating me, because he had no green energy.
Right.
And then got into the Turtle swing. But here, I played the Broly, obviously, to pop another card in his field, and then I used Janemba to send it back to my hand. And
not bad.
Something also I didn't pick up on that initial turn either is that I could have just, as soon as my turn begins, activate main and send the pan back instead of doing it at the end of my turn.
Yeah, that's another way that your micro could have been a little bit better this game, is that you just send it on back to him.
I still don't.
A really interesting tech in this list as well, just being able to pass it over to your opponent.
The main thing is just to guarantee to have a blue energy on your opponent's side of the field, so it gives you a little extra energy there.
Yeah, it's like a ramp, basically. Yeah. I guess something to keep in mind as the player against 21 is if you get an opportunity to combo that thing off, you do it.
Yeah, it was oh, never mind.
What?
Nothing, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. So yeah, in this case, he's played a 4-drop using none of his own energy. And then I turn around and play another blue energy for him too, if he wanted to continue pressuring in other ways. But I think he ends up passing. Yeah, he did end up passing us that last attack. And, like, here's another thing. Once again, like, it hasn't clicked in my head yet at this point to remove Android 13. Like, I could have bounced Android 13 back to my hand with Janemba, and he would have no access to another green energy. But you can see here, he's looking at another, there he goes, boom.
Yeah.
It hits the board. And that's just because I it hasn't triggered in my head like, hey, I need to get rid of these resources as soon as possible, because if I don't, I'm just hurting myself. Because
And
now,
it did, and again, you like missed the pan donation.
yeah,
So yeah, we're just seeing all kinds of ways that players can improve their micro in this game.
it, this is my little side tangent real quick. This is why I'm not too thrilled that Gen Con's a best of one, or sorry, that it's not a best of three, because it's one of those things where sometimes in the moment it takes a couple turns for you to go, oh, I got it now. So where it's best of one, I have to learn the fly, and if I don't see it turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, then it doesn't matter if I see it turn 4. By that point, I've already hurt myself enough.
Yeah, it's probably game at that point.
Here, I'm playing the Overrealm primarily just to get the draws, and then going to use it as a combo piece later down the road as well, because it will get warped naturally, and if I choose to swing, I have to move a Z energy over, correct, and then I think bottom deck a card from my hand or something like that, or discard a card. It's one or the other.
Goes to the drop. Yeah. Discard.
So I don't want to get too many attacks in. So here I will end up comboing off the Bardock just as a Z charge target, and it's a 25k that goes up to 30k with high combo. So if he doesn't want to
that's a really good use. That's a great use of it. Because like you said, it's going to get warped anyway, so you might as well just combo it off and put it in the Z and just keep going.
And him not wanting to go down to 2 life, understandable. He's sitting at 3 as of right now. So, and here I go to try to free play the Janemba, which has currently entry cost of 2. He just counterplays it with release, absolute release ball, puts it back to my hand. He does miss on the restand part, but as we can see, his next thing was Janemba anyway, so he was still been at 3 energy naturally.
Yeah, don't really matter.
And here, I'm just trying to either, I played Sin to pop a card, and I do not think I attack with it. I probably should, but I don't think I will.
Yeah, I don't know how many swings you've pushed through the floodgate this turn, but it's always difficult. Yeah, it looks like you go ahead and pitch the Z energy and a card so you can get the swing in.
And this serves two purposes for me. Purpose 1 is if he doesn't negate, this is a kill shot. Like, he has 3 life, that's a triple strike. Or option B, he just uses his negates, and then by the time where it's where it matters, he no longer has any.
Yeah, against Android 21, it really is a war of attrition. You have to just whittle it down.
Yeah, and after all of that, like trying to figure out what to attack with, what not to attack with, I forget to send the pan back.
Yeah. I mean, he just was going to give it back to you on untap anyway.
It is kind of bad, though, that he hasn't really charged any green energy now. Like, I don't know the quality of his hand, so he probably didn't have the option, but you having the Android 13 is just everything to him.
I think that's what it is. I think my mistake of not bouncing 13 back to my hand has given him a level of comfortability where he's like, oh, there's my green energy. I don't need to worry about charging my multicolored cards. I can hang on to them to play effects instead. And,
there's the other one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In the moment, I'm looking for combo power.
You giving this man like 20 energy to play with.
I know. I'm testing the waters. It breaks down that no option there. I'm giving him an energy regardless. Like Turles is blue. A13's green. Slug is green. Like Janemba's blue. I think I already have a Janemba on board, but
yeah. Again, I don't know what's in his hand, but if he had the A drop in his hand, like that would just absolutely destroy you.
And I have nothing to do. Like, if he had that, I had no way of stopping it. He did swing before paying for anything, so I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to combo up and get rid of this card so you can't use it.
Yeah, if he didn't have to combo it off to save himself earlier in the game, it would have been a much different play line for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just goes back to us talking about, like, I guess my big theme this video is micromanagement, where if memory serves, he comboed that 8 drop off for a 14k attack with the pan on a leader.
Early on, very early on, because he needed
because he needed the Z energy for the second play post counterplay, and had he had a more meaningful swing or elected to like combo that pan off during your turn and then do something else with his leader swing, then maybe he would still have it and just be wrecking right here.
Yeah. And here he's debating about playing the Beerus, because Beerus initially get 3 attacks, and Beerus' other effect when it swings, popping a card won't matter here because none of my battle cards are at a high enough energy cost to be popped. But Beerus goes from a 10 to a 20 to, sorry, from a 15 to a 20 to a 25 on every swing to get this additional 5k boost.
Oh, look, there's a drop.
There's an 8 drop, yeah.
At this point, though, yeah, I was gonna say at this point, though, with how far behind he is, he may just end up using it for combo power.
Comboing off the Bobbity to me serves 2 points. I had no other negates, or 2 things. I had no other negates in my hand I could play, and I didn't really want. I'm down like 4 or 5 cards. So I'm trying to like preserve as many cards as possible, and I could bring Bobbity back if need be. But also, I feel like sometimes if I combo that piece off, my opponent sometimes goes, "Oh, this I could go for game here because if he was to negate with Garlic, it takes 2 energy now, not 1 energy."
Yeah.
But I ended up taking the last 2 attacks, knowing that I felt pretty comfortable and safe at this moment. And he's pretty much tapped out right now, so I know whatever I do on this first swing, I have to make it matter. And by this point, I've learned on what to
do. There you go. Enjoy that.
So I gave him back his card, so it's 1 less blue for him to use. And then I am playing a Bobbity for my deck. And yeah, it gives him another blue energy, but he has no access to any green colors right now. So now that I've kind of finally, after this is turn 5, figure out the correct like order how I wanted to do things. And here you're like, oh, I'm giving him a green card. I remember that he had added an Android 17 to his hand, so I'm gonna immediately just bounce that 13 back to my hand
with Janemba.
Yep.
Smart. Because it comes into play with its skills negated, you can put it back in your hand with Janemba, and then it gets its counterplay skills again. Really smart.
So here he's going to do it, but he needs 2 blue and doesn't have enough to play it, so he has to play around it. I think he ends up using a Dimension Magic, or Sense of Being. There it is. And I'm just swinging with Bobbity because it's 1 less thing for him to now tap. No combo, just swing, just get rid of it.
Put it in rest mode, yeah.
Yep.
Negate the attack, but stop the play. He's gonna have to discard. That's big.
And then putting 2 cards back in my deck. I think one of them was a Turles, another one was I think a Hatch. And then I'll just immediately, I think, swing with the 13 afterwards, just to give, I don't want him to have green to use as energy now.
That's why this game took so damn long. See how long you were shuffling that deck?
Dude, I have an OCD problem. Leave me alone. I have to sometimes tell my brain to stop shuffling. So here I'm just checking because I'm trying to figure out like what he can do, because I'm trying to go for game here. But he just doesn't like my Janemba's hitting the board. But this time he took the life for it, and he did catch the restand, and
there you go.
He goes for the Floodgate. As we see in his hand, he did have a Dimension Magic in his hand, so he had a way of stopping 2 attacks. But he went for the Floodgate. Because it doesn't stop the attack, I get to finish my combo out, get with the leader swing.
Yeah, and we talked about this too. He he didn't really need to take the life to activate the floodgate because he had so much open energy.
Yeah.
And since the release ball restands one anyway, it would have been free for him. So I think that was the biggest like thing that we saw that could have changed everything, because that would have given him the extra energy for what you calls it.
Yeah, because when it breaks down to at that point, I don't think I had enough. If he would have negated to with a different negate, and then negate it with that card popping, say if I played Shin, and then he paid the 4 to pop it, my only other attack would potentially be another Majin Buu from my drop, from my Z deck. But I don't know if I had enough Z energy at the time to make that, to play Absorb and still swing. But as we're playing, this is still kind of like a learning experience. Just make sure we know everything we need to know. Like Jake said earlier, like, trying to maximize our turns, try to make sure we get every, I dotted, T cross as much as possible, especially leading up to Gen Con. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind, there's buttons, links, check them out. Bye.